Hello folks, and welcome back to another episode of Monday Rules. But once again, it's going to be a short Monday Rules episode because my internet problems are persisting. And hopefully it'll be fixed in the next little while. I don't know how long it's going to take them, but hopefully, right? Let's all cross our fingers and hope for the best. Anyways, first things first, the honorable mentions for last week's Mogami 155mm AP challenge. Coming in second place is Nakondas, doing 82,015 damage. Third and fourth was Lord Zath, who did 80,000 and 64,000 damage respectively. And then in fifth place came Desert Rat 0507, who did 55,018 damage. And the winner of the challenge by the narrowest of margins is Ophi123. And Ophi's going to show us some of the things that the Mogami with the 155 shooting armor piercing is capable of doing. One of those things is absolutely obliterating cruisers that decide to show you a broadside. So in this particular case, Ophi's up against the York, tier 7 German heavy cruiser, and the York is showing a broadside. And you'll see that even with the 155mm guns, the Mogami quite comfortably can citadel a York at range. In fact, the Mogami can actually citadel other Mogamis with the 155mm armor piercing, although at slightly closer ranges from what I've been able to see. So that does tell you that the 155s are perfectly viable against other cruisers, which kind of makes me think that a lot of the Mogami captains out there who are just spamming the HE on the 155s might be missing out on something when they're engaging other cruisers. So as you can see, Ophi very easily takes down this York with a bunch of citadel hits, although the York captain there, by presenting a broadside almost all the way through, is pretty much setting himself up for a very fast death. And of course, there you go, first blood to Ophi. But the 155mm armor piercing is actually effective in certain situations against even battleships. So in this particular engagement, Ophi has run into a Tirpitz, and the Tirpitz is at approximately 7 kilometers. Pay attention to how much damage the armor piercing can do. So at first, the Tirpitz was somewhat angled, so 2,700 damage, so that's almost 3k damage. Next salvo, remember these salvos get reloaded very quickly, right? Because the 155s have very fast reload. Next salvo there, almost 5k. There we go, next salvo out, and this one is going to do just around 4,000, almost 4,000 damage. So in the time that it takes essentially a battleship to reload one complete salvo, Ophi was able to do over 10,000 damage with the 155mm armor piercing. And so combined with torpedoes, that's a substantial amount of damage that can be outputted relatively quickly from Mogami. And so if you're playing a Mogami and a battleship is flat on towards you, you might even want to consider just armor piercing as well if your high explosive isn't really doing it for you. But of course, if you're running into lightly armored cruisers like the Aoba, then the Mogami with the 155 AP is absolutely going to eat them for lunch. So in this case here, there's an enemy Aoba. It's going to make the mistake by presenting Ophi with a broadside, and just with the forward 3 turrets worth of 155mm guns, you can do substantial amounts of damage, assuming you can hit the citadels. So Ophi patiently waits for the Aoba to present that broadside, fires that salvo in 2 citadels, 4 target hits, almost 10,000 damage. Gets the rear 2 guns, and lands approximately 3,400 damage. Doesn't get the kill as friendly torpedoes finish off that Aoba. Anyways, Ophi wins that challenge by doing a grand total of 82,520 armor piercing damage. A very narrow win over Nakondas. So congratulations, Ophi. Keep an eye open on your email, and I'll be sending you some doubloons. Anyways, let's move on to this week's Monday Rules challenge, and it comes from Stefan Schaefer, who proposes that this week's challenge is for you to go play a carrier, which we haven't really done a lot of carrier challenges, so I think it's okay, it's time to have one of those. But Stefan wants you to hunt down those really annoying destroyers, and most destroyer kills win. Of course, if there's a tie, overall damage decides, and I think this is a wonderful challenge, Stefan. So guys, go out there, go play your carriers, go hunt down some destroyers, and have fun with it. Aside from all that, I wish you all the best this week, and of course, always remember, Monday Rules.